Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning. I'm your host, David Shinsky, and you're listening to Live Without Limits. Today's show is how to launch your business or product with instant success. And when we're talking about launching a product, it is important to understand that you are working towards building a business, and with that business, you are going to be looking at the things that will put you in a position to grow your business often. And a lot of that is very important to understand simply because when you are looking at launching a product, what you're really doing is looking at growing your business to a way of building anticipation. So, when you're about to launch your new product or service, it can really go one or two ways. You can start off with a massive bang or get instant momentum in sales. Or you can start off slow and then fade away from there. I think I know which scenario you would favor, but here's the thing. When you launch your business, you have to be consistent. Simply because when you look at growing your business on an ongoing basis, you want it to build long term. And you can either grow it slow and let it fade away because you're not consistent, or you can launch it in a way that brings you consistent business on an ongoing basis. If you've ever wondered about the power of a well-executed product launch, then just look at the way Apple introduces its new products. It develops a carefully engineered process that builds momentum over several months, and it ends up with crowds lined up outside its stores, salivating over the next whatever. And also, think about it this way. You see Samsung, whenever they launch a new and upgraded product on their phones, what do? They will put out videos, they will link specs that will get reported on, and then what happens is they have a big launch event that gets streamed online. And what does this do? This builds the anticipation. Of course, you and I don't have resources and media reach Apple has, but if you know how to leverage the power and interactivity of the internet, you can create your own massively successful product launch. This isn't theoretical. Over the last 16 years, I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs execute more than $400 million in product launches. After all these years, I've literally boiled this down to a formula. And here are the key steps that you need to follow. Turn your marketing into events. The first mistake most people make is that they don't actually plan their launch. Instead, they rely on what I call hope marketing. where they can work really hard to get their product ready and then simply release it. They say, here I am, world, come and buy my stuff. This is the old build it and they will come method. The only problem is that they almost never works. Instead, the world doesn't notice that you exist and you slowly fade into oblivion. So, you want to create a well executed product launch that engineers your success. You do this by publishing some really powerful pre launch content that creates anticipation and gets people excited to buy from you before you even release your product. When you do this, you turn your marketing into an event which makes you instantly stand out from every would-be competitor, and you tap into the amazing power of anticipation. Now, I was on Quora, and there was a question asked that someone was in the art business, and she had placed a lot of ads on her art online because it was an online business, but she had no sales. Well, what was she doing wrong? First of all, she was not even putting out that content where she talked about the product, where she compared it to other products, where she could show the benefits of her product over someone else's product. Or especially when you're dealing with stuff that's creative, then you have to tap into someone's emotion because art is an emotional purchase. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to create that anticipation? How are you actually going to get the leads to create the relationship that you need with someone to get them to become a customer of yours? This is the big thing that some people don't understand about growing and building a business online. Use a pre-launch sequence to build anticipation. And this is something that you truly need to understand. Your pre-launch sequence is the secret sauce in the recipe. This is a series of pre-launch content pieces you release over a period of 7 to 10 days. You typically want 3 pieces of pre-launch content. They can be PDF reports, audios, or videos. These days, video is so easy and fast to create that it tends to be the medium of choice during pre-launch. And why is that? Because you can take it and you can put it on Facebook, YouTube, even on your website. The idea is, how are you going to get people to see what you have to offer? In general, the first piece of pre-launch content is about the opportunity. For instance, if you're teaching people an easy method to learn to play songs on the guitar, then the opportunity would revolve around how easy it is to master this first set of simple songs. Always focus on the transformation that your product will create for your clients. How will their lives be different, both immediately and in the future, once they buy your product? Your second piece of pre-launch content should be some serious teaching. Remember to keep giving people the good stuff, because the more you give, the more you will get when it comes time to ask for the sale. Lots of times, people will worry that they giving away too much free content. But in my experience, that almost never happens. And look at it this way. You need to create multiple streams of income. For instance, if you're creative and you're selling art, then what else can you offer besides selling them the pictures that you've already created? Well, you can teach them how to paint so they can create their own art and display it. Because you never know what hidden talents someone has. The third piece of pre-launch content should continue to teach and also start to deliver some of the ownership experience. Give your prospects a feel for what it would be like to own your product. Toward the end of the third piece, be sure to let people know you've got a special offer coming for them. That is where many people drop the hat because they don't have a call to action button on their page or a link where someone can get what it is that they are looking for. Often we don't always realize exactly what it is that we're looking for. Leverage the power of conversation. Conversations are a lot more interesting than monologues, where you shift your marketing from a lecture or a monologue and start engaging your prospects in a conversation. You instantly become more intriguing, and the good news is that it's easy to have those conversations in social media and on your blog. Be sure to answer questions and comments as they come in. Here's a piece of information that people don't always think about is why not use a webinar or a teleseminar where you're actually educating people and giving them the opportunity to ask you questions. That what you're actually doing is building a relationship with them through the presentation. And that's often the first step to think about when you are conducting or planning something that can put you into a position where you're actually offering someone something that they can use. And remember that with every step that you take, what you're doing is building a relationship. Now, you can go to Chamber of Commerce after hours meetings. You can go to meetup groups. And the neat thing about meetup groups is you can join almost any group, but in that group, you're the only person in your industry or offers the service that you offer. And what does that do? That gives you the opportunity to stand up, give a little background about who you are, tell a little bit more in depth about your product, and in the process of giving a little bit more in depth, what are you doing? You are creating an interest, and then what happens is you get the opportunity to ask for referrals from other people. And in doing so, what you're also doing is building up relationships, because this way you never know where your referrals come from. And those referrals can come from that group, or it can be any one of them talking to their friends who have referrals for you that can truly help you build your business. These are things that we don't always think about in the importance of them and how they say can benefit all of us. And often think about those things that you have that can truly generate an interest in your product. Remember, what we're talking about here is that we want to help you launch your business and launch it in a way that it actually helps you to build and expand what it is that you are offering people. You can tap into joint venture partnerships. One of the fastest ways to turbocharge your business is to tap into the power of other people's lists. In other words, find joint venture partners who already have compiled a list of people who would be interested in your product or service. So, what we're talking about now is joint ventures. Because remember, the money is in the list. Because if you have an autoresponder, which every business person has, you can set up and pre-select emails that you have go out on a daily basis. And what you're often going to be doing is a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 ratio, where what you're doing is offering someone information that can help them, and always have them call to action or remind them to tune in to the next day, because what you will be doing is expanding on what you're telling them today. So that what you're doing is you're building up anticipation to look for your email that comes the next day. And then after 3 days, then you can offer a sale. And you always want to do a one-time offer, which means that if they get it today, they're going to get it at a lower price than they ever will see again. This is one of the best ways to help to generate interest in where you're coming from and what you have to offer. So, if you're selling a product about yoga, you might find someone who has a list of people interested in a related market, such as massage, and see if they would be interested in promoting your product. They would send an email to the people on their list or that directed them to your cool pre-launch content. Then you track the sales that you made from those visitors, and you pay your joint venture partner a commission on these sales. That's also known as affiliate marketing. And affiliate marketing is one of the best ways to help you build and increase sales, because if you're paying someone a commission along the way, then they're more likely to take your product and offer it to their list. Also, think of setting up an affiliate program so that any of your customers that you already have would be interested in offering your product to their friends. Sales tracking is easy to do with affiliate software such as One Shopping Cart and OfficeAutopilot.com. These types of promotions can launch and can be a real win for everyone involved. Remember this, that whenever you have a one-time offer or you have any products, what you also need to do is think of it in terms of a sales funnel. Offer an upsell, offer a downsell, and always remember, in that sales funnel, what you would do to get their name and their email address so you can build up your email list and you can keep in touch with them create opportunities of being in touch with your prospects and developing that relationship is that you are creating an opportunity to sell to them in the future. And that's often something that we don't think about, that because all we think of is terms of, I have this product, I want to make a sale today, and I want to see my money tomorrow. Well, if you want that to happen, then you have to have and create a relationship with people before they will even buy from you. Because once they have a relationship with you and they truly know you, then they're more likely to buy from you. And when they're more likely to buy from you, then they're also more likely to word of mouth advertising for you in essence. How do you think that multi-level marketing as a business model has succeeded over the years? It was proven with Amway back in the 50s and 60s when they first started, that if you do word of mouth advertising through people who are independent contractors who buy your products at wholesale and sell them at retail, or in this case, sell them for you and market them for you for your price, but you give them a 10 to 15% of the sales, then they're more likely to want to increase the opportunity to offer your products to their friends, opening and closing your launch. Of course, the whole point of your launch is to make sales. Your pre-launch content leads into the open cart, which is when you open your shopping cart up for orders. And when you follow this process, the rush of orders can be breathtaking. Now, on every website or any e-commerce store, you have to have a checkout attached to your product. And what happens is either it's a call to action button or it can be a checkout button. But what it does is it leads them to going to your sales page where all they have to do is whip out that credit card and input their information, and instantly you have the sale. Of course, your work doesn't end there. During the open cart, you keep communicating to your list and countdown to the end of the launch. It's important to have some type of deadline. You need to give people a reason to act. There's always a launch special or a special offer or a special pricing that goes away at the end of the launch. In general, the special launch offer is available for 5 to 7 days, and it's not unusual to see half the sales come in during the last 24 hours or so. And what are we doing here? We are giving them the opportunity to buy at a lower price or a one-time offer. And what is this doing? This is giving them a deadline that if they don't purchase by a specific time or a specific date, then they will never see that price again. And if you have developed an interest in your product with the pre-launch of content before you even put your product on the market, then what you've actually done is you've created that interest in what it is that you have to offer. Is it all worth it? Well, my goal for my clients is for them to make as many sales in the launch week as they would normally make in a full year. Of course, that's just a goal. Sometimes it happens normally and you make it in a full year. Okay, sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. But after doing literally dozens of these launches, I'm still blown away by the power of this model. The instant rush of sales when you open cart is literally impossible to subscribe. But once you do it, the biggest thing for your mind is, when am I going to do my next launch? And remember, what you're looking at is the things that you should be able to do that can help you grow your business from here until the future. Now, what I want to finish up on is talking about some of the things that we talked about. So, remember, if you don't have the reach that or the resources and the media reach that Apple has, that you can do a launch in a big way like they do, then you have to look at creating, first thing, marketing events. And what are marketing events? Marketing events are simply a way to release your product and anything that you have to offer. And what you're doing is creating a well-executed product launch that engineers your success. And then the next thing that you need to do is think of a pre-launch sequence to build the anticipation. For instance, if you have an autoresponder and you're sending out information to your prospect, then you have emails that come out that tease them about your product, and you give them the benefits, and you make sure that they understand how it can truly help them build and grow that business they have. And you keep doing that through content, even on your website. It can be through articles, through videos, things that can help you with your product. And the next thing we've talked about is the power of conversation. And what's the power of conversation? Well, the power of conversation is joining groups where you have the opportunity to speak to someone, to tell them, to promote what you're doing on that basis. Then we talked about setting up joint ventures. And joint ventures means that you're working with someone who has a product or service that complements what you offer, and that you can cross-sell to their customers, and you allow them to cross-sell to your customers. And the last thing that we talked about was opening and closing your launch, and the importance of how that can help you to expand. And what that was doing was also setting you up so that you could get them to set a time limit on when they can purchase. And often remember that those sales will close out. Most of your sales will come towards the end of that launch. And you can go to my website, and my website is the #1 personalcareercoach.com, where you can sign up for both individual and group coaching.